How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. All the things, how great is our God. He's the name above all names, and he's worthy to be praised. My heart could sing, how great is our God. Yo! Once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kids TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Now, for you all that's not familiar, just know that I'm the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better. Meaning that anytime I drop you a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. Your co-workers is talking your head off, getting on your nerves. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you need to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video. Or you're just in the mood for good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. Now, if you prefer your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's 30 minutes or better. Now, with all that being said, with all that wrapped up into one big old nut, shell that is, pause, double pause. There is a message. You know, oftentimes, there's a saying that goes way, way, way back. Can't judge a book by its cover. It's so easy to look at an individual that appears to be humble, and perhaps that person is humble, but really you don't even know you dealing with an outright dog. You know what I mean? An outright killer. And because that person smiles, and because that person exemplifies mannerisms, you have no earthly clue. Now, again, before we get into this evening, excuse me, and that won't be edited out. Before we get into this evening's video, if you will, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Let me know where you at, man. As you can see in the background, it's still snowing. Well, actually, the snow has ceased, but yet it's still snow on the ground, if that makes any sense to you. Come on, Kens, what's all these sounds, man? You listen. Y'all hear that? When I move around, man, the car just makes noise, okay? So I'm hearing these weirdos jump into the comment section. Oh, man, Ken's let gas, Ken's. If I did, I did. I'd tell you I did. But that's not the case, man. It's just, you know, the car just kind of, you know, just what it is, man. I'll take you all the way back to my high school days. Now, you know I love to paint a picture. You know I love to paint a picture so you all can really get the full story and full detail, to say the least. I'm going to take you back to high school. It's my senior year. Football season was terrible. Ended up going like maybe 2-10, something like that, 2-9. Didn't win very many games. I'm getting letters from the, smaller colleges. I'm not saying USC or Notre Dame, because back then it was USC, Notre Dame, Michigan. I'm not saying anything like that, but, I'm getting letters from smaller schools within the state. A couple schools on the outskirts of the state. They interested in old kids to come and play football. I decided, okay, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to play football, what have you, but I also play baseball. Now, and again, this is my senior year. Baseball season came around. I did a program, and I'm sure a lot of high schools have this program, but at our high school, I went to Paul Lawrence Dunbar, class of 1994. Yeah, I just told my age, but I never run from my age. It is what it is. I played baseball. In our senior year, man, we were supposed to be very, very good. Actually, they were very, very good. I've been on the baseball team for 3 years. This is my third year. I'm in this program, and it's called a co-op program. Co-op program. I'm sorry. Got tongue-tied. Co-op program meant that you went to school your first 3 hours of the day, and then you had a job in which you went to work for the second part of the day, 3 or 4 hours. I worked at a grocery store that was called Winn-Dixie. Not sure if you all familiar with Winn-Dixie, if you've ever even heard of Winn-Dixie. But at the time in the 90s, it was called Winn-Dixie. Very, very similar to Kroger's competitor. I would go to work after I left my, 3 hours of obligation that I had with school. I would go to work, and we had this manager called Marcinick. Not called Marcinick. His name was Marcinick, Mr. Marcinick. He would try to be cool with me, man. I read about you in the paper. Y'all took a tough loss, but I seen you had, 100 yards rushing or 100 yards receiving. I seen you had a touchdown, 2 touchdowns or whatever. Like he would play it, act as though he was cool with me. It's cool, no problem. I go do my job, go back to school for football practice or, whatever activity that I was involved in. One day, Marcinick comes up to me. He says, hey, Kens, I'm going to need to talk to you. Yeah, what's going on, Mr. Marcinick? I never missed work. I never had any problems whatsoever. I'm going to need you to cut your mustache. What? Yeah, I'm going to need you to cut your mustache. Now, mind you, I'm in high school. I didn't have all of this facial hair. Only thing I had was just my mustache was not of any significance whatsoever. He tells me I'm going to need you to cut your mustache. Now, this is months after me working there. It's not like, he told me this upon hiring me. It's not like he told me this a couple weeks later. This was like some months down the road. I'm going to need you to cut your mustache. Cut my mustache. Now think about when you was in high school, fellas. When you had a mustache, you really starting to come into your own like you a man now. In your eyes, I'm a man. Cut my mustache. No, I ain't cutting my mustache. I never cut my mustache. A couple weeks later, Kens, I'm going to need you to cut your mustache. You got to have, no facial hair here at Winn-Dixie. All due respect, Mr. Marcinick, man, I had a mustache when you hired me. If I'd have known that, I probably wouldn't even have taken the position, but you never said this initially. A couple more weeks goes past, calls me to the office. We're going to have to terminate you. That's the word that they use, terminate. Terminate me for what? What did I do? Because I've asked you over and over to cut your mustache and you just won't. You refuse. What do you call it? Insubordination. You're refusing, they call it in prison, refusing a direct order. But in corporate world, it's insubordination. Come on, Mr. Marcinick, man. I'm just a high school student. I'm not trying to cause no trouble. I'm going to need you to exit the store. Do we need to get security? Wow, you going to call security on me just because I'm trying to ask you? Do we need to call security? You know what? Fuck you, Mr. Marcinick. You know what? Fuck you. You racist bastard. Yeah, that's what I said to him. You racist bastard. Because you didn't say nothing to the white boys. They had mustaches. You didn't say nothing to nobody else. But for whatever reason, you had the audacity to say something to me, and I don't even know what I did. I was nothing but a respectful kid that came to work every day. I'm nothing but, 17 at the time. You know that I'm playing football, I'm playing baseball, and I need to work this job because the way that the co-op program works is whatever grades you get in your first 3 classes. So let's just say you got an A in one class, a C in the other, and a B in the other one. Okay, that's your GPA for those 3, classes that you've taken, 3.0, whatever, for those 3 classes. But then the fact that you go to work and everything's cool at work, you get a grade for that. It's like 3 different grades that you get. Well, Mr. Marcinick, man, please don't do this. I'm not. No. Kicks me out of the store. I got to walk back up to the school. I ain't have no car. That's how bad I wanted it. Had to walk back up to the school. The school was probably 1.5 to 2 miles away. A lot of times I catch a ride, but when I didn't, I had to walk. Go back up to the school, what have you. Next day, I go to class. I tell my teacher, my co-op teacher. I forget her name. But I tell her, listen, man, I got fired. Mr. Marcinick, I was trying to explain what truly happened. I didn't have anybody to have my back, anyone to witness, nothing. Well, I talked to Mr. Marcinick. They were good friends, supposedly. He's married, she's married. Miss Piper, that was her name. Miss Piper. Actually, Miss Pfeiffer. Well, I talked to Mr. Marks, and he said that you cussed him out and called him a racist bastard, and you threw racial gestures at him. I said, no, miss, I did do that, but it was after he fired me. You see, Mr. Marcinick made it seem as though I said these things to him initially, so as a result, he fired me. He totally lied on me. That's not what happened. I said, Miss Pfeiffer, I said these things, but it was after he fired me. Well, you just embarrassed me. I went out on a limb to get you this job, and you embarrassed the program and the school, and I'm gonna have to throw you out of co-op. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to throw you out of yeah, that's actually what it was called. I'm sorry. Co-op. Putting the horse before the carriage. Carriage before the horse, right? I'm gonna have to throw you out of the program. Miss Pfeiffer, please don't do that. I'm gonna get 3 F's. If you throw me out of the program, 4th, 5th, and 6th hour, I'm gonna get F's because, this puts my graduation in danger. The baseball season's coming around the corner. Like, that's not what happened. I'm trying to, let you know what happened. This is not the truth. Miss Pfeiffer wasn't hearing me. She wanted no parts of my conversation whatsoever. Again, I'm a poor kid, single parent home. I don't have we don't got no money to go get an attorney. We don't know anybody in the higher ups. We don't know. I go to the principal. Mr. Akers. Mr. Akers had a son that kicked for he was a kicker for the Philadelphia 76ers. Not the Philadelphia 76ers, but the Phillies. Not the Phillies. I get Philadelphia got so many pro teams. The Eagles. He was cool, man. Dude had my back, man. Mr. Akers, he genuinely had my back. He goes to the board. When I say he goes to the board for me, meaning that he's fighting for me to not get these 3 F's. Comes back, it's like, listen, you have an option. Because having these 3 F's makes your GPA below 2.0 standard that you need to play sports. You could take these correspondence courses or whatever. It's going to be a lot of hard work, though. But you can take these courses and get your GPA up. Therefore, it'll make you eligible for baseball, and you'll be able to graduate. I go to Frank Watson. He's the athletic director. I tell him what's going on. He's like, yeah, no problem. As long as you have these correspondence courses complete before baseball season starts. So I say, when you say before it starts, meaning what? Like before the first game, before the first practice? What? No, before the first game. As long as you have these courses completed, you'll be good. I take the courses. They cost, I don't remember how much they cost. $80 a course. I get the money. I'm grinding, shooting dice or whatever. I get the money. I take all 3 courses. Cost me maybe $240 for 3 courses. It's so much work. So my high school sweetheart at the time, she's helping me. I'm doing courses. She's doing courses. Ended up getting an A and 2 B's. Brought my GPA up to, 2.7, 2.8 or whatever. Whatever it was. I don't even remember. Maybe higher. The problem was, by the time I turned in my final course, the baseball season had already started. They hadn't been playing any games, but they had like maybe 2 or 3 practices. I had already been on the baseball team for 2 years. They tell me I'm ineligible. Although my GPA was above the 2.0 threshold, if you will, my courses weren't turned in and graded and submitted until about a week into baseball season as far as practicing. By the time they got everything finalized. I'm like, nah, Mr. Watson, man, the athletic director, he told me, Once again, Mr. Akers. I think his name was Dave Akers, I believe. Y'all can Google Philadelphia Eagles kicker in the 90s. His last name was Akers. His dad was our principal. He went to war, man. He went to bat for me. Fayette County Department of Education. He knew that I didn't have anybody to go to bat with me. But ultimately, I'm just a poor black kid. Are you going to make it about race, kids? Because that's what it is. You don't like it, don't watch. Ultimately, I became ineligible and couldn't play baseball my senior year. Baseball team was very, very good. They was within one game of going to the state finals. I was sick. Every day when you come to school, because baseball you play pretty much every day, literally, damn near every day. Oh, the baseball team does it again. They beat such and such team 2-1. Ross Taylor. Shout out to Ross Taylor, man. He was a very good friend of mine. He was the ace pitcher on Dunbar's baseball team. Never played until his senior year. He was the ace pitcher, and he went on to play at Sue Bennett College in London, Kentucky, play football and baseball, and then he went on to pitch at Eastern. Ross Taylor, man. Shout out to Ross Taylor. I had like 3 or 4 friends on the baseball team that I was like tight with. Imagine that. Every day I'm listening to this. They're gone to baseball games or whatever. I can't go. I'm not eligible to play baseball. I started to kind of link with other individuals. This dude named Chris that I met, man. Chris was a white dude. He came from, I don't even remember what state Chris came from. Chris was a cool dude. He drove like a white Jeep. Cool, man. I'm talking about cool as a fan. Him and I, we linked. He would drop me off. I had a little girlfriend or whatever. Now, I'm a senior. She was a junior, I want to say. She was a junior. And he would drop me off at her house, come back, pick me up and everything. That's why I say you always got to have you some white friends. Not because of what they can and will do for you. You just got to have you some white buddies. By God, I'll tell you what, man, what's your bond? 25,000, 2,500, I'll be there at the drop of they're coming for you. You some bitches drop, what? You could be dead wrong. Them sons of bitches. Yeah, but Chris, I had like 10 guns in the car. I don't give a gosh darn, you should be able to bear arms, the Constitution. Got to have you some white buddies, man. Chris and I, he was cool. He wasn't he didn't get into anything. He didn't smoke. He didn't drink. Neither did I. I didn't smoke or anything in high school. I got into zero trouble. I did everything that I was supposed to do on the straight and narrow. He would drop me off at my girl's house or what have you. Him and I would hang out. We played intramural basketball. This dude was a gift. He had a gift. He came to the high school late. Otherwise, he would have been on the basketball team. He came his senior year. It was late into his senior year. I don't know what happened prior to him coming to Dunbar, but this dude was a beast, man. Chris, like I said, he was a white dude. Chris wasn't no more than 5'9". And I'm stretched because him and I are about the same height. But in my eyes, I'm 5'11". Forget what everybody else is talking about. How tall are you, baby? You meet somebody on a dating site or you meet somebody online. How tall are you? I'm 5'11". You meet me. I thought you was 5'11". In my eyes, I'm 5'11". In my eyes, the whole world is 5'11". Respectfully. This dude, Chris, man, was a monster on the court, man. Our intramural basketball team, I don't even know if we lost the game. I'm not going to say we didn't, but if we did, I don't remember. Like, we was beasts, man. All the dudes that could have played for any other high school in Lexington, Kentucky that year, it was hard to be on Dunbar's basketball team, man. They went to the state, and you can Google somebody, Darnell Burton. Google this guy. See, everything that I tell, my stories are legitimate. He went on to play for University of Cincinnati. Cameron Mills. He went on to play for University of Kentucky. it was very difficult to get on that team. So you had guys that could play for a lot of other teams that just didn't, and I was one of those people. I played football and baseball, but although I was not very tall, I was pretty decent in basketball, along with a lot of the other kids at the time that was on our intramural squad. I want to say we didn't lose a game. We ended up winning the intramural league, but this guy, Chris, he wasn't on our team, but this dude was a problem, man. I'm talking about, man, we had some sort of special tournament to where we won the regular season, but their team ended up being able to play against the actual high school basketball team. I don't know, can't remember exactly how it happened. This dude hit them for like 45. This isn't a limited game. Dude was just something special, man. After high school, he goes on to go to the Marines. I go to Kentucky State University. I play football my first year. Because a lot of y'all, Ken, tell us more about you. I played football my first year. I didn't end up playing baseball. The baseball coach knew about me. But at that point, man, I just lost the love for the game. I went to a few practices, and I was like, nah, man, I'm trying to be in the room shooting dice with Big Bub then. I still thought I could hoop. I'm out back, because out back in the back of the dorm, at a basketball full court or whatever, I'm out there playing against the basketball team. In my mind, I'm contemplating, man, I'm about to try out for, the basketball team. Nobody could tell me I was only 5'9". Nah, I'm 5'11" in my mind. Nevertheless, that's where we end up at. Fast forwarding a few years down the road, life hits me. I'm no longer at K-State. I do a couple years. I end up getting sick, end up having to drop out of K-State, and, got to get a job. One job's not enough, so now I got 2 jobs. I'm going to end up going back to school. That's what we all tell ourselves. I'm going to end up going back to school. But there comes, my little angel. She's on the way. And I have to work. I can't, go back to school, whatever. I got to support my child. And life really, really starts to not necessarily intervene, but it starts to become more and more realistic. A few years after that, after my daughter's born, I found myself in the penitentiary. A kid that never had any juvenile history, didn't smoke, didn't drink, didn't commit no crimes whatsoever, finds himself in the penitentiary, man. Fooling with counterfeiting, checks, money. So I didn't understand the ramifications of doing these things. Yeah, I knew what I was doing was wrong, but it was just like, okay, I'm not going to get caught with it. I wasn't out writing checks. I didn't understand that there's things that a person can just point the finger at you. I didn't understand what a Commonwealth state meant. I didn't get caught doing anything. But he did it. He forced me to do it. When the reality was, we made all this money. But when they get caught up, no, he forced me. We made $10,000 together, and he may have given me $200, and he kept the rest. Detectives know they lying. Nevertheless, I found myself in the penitentiary. I'm in the joint. When I'm in the joint, I had a pending case still. The case was over with, but if your paperwork doesn't say that the case is over with, guess what? They're going to send you behind the fence. Even if it is a white-collar crime such as counterfeiting. They're going to send you with the lions, tigers, goons, gorillas, and birds, and hyenas. So now I'm behind the walls. I'm behind the fence. I'm behind the fence, doing my time or whatever. Trying to maneuver, trying to figure everything out. I run into Chris, out of all people. Now, it's crazy because he probably never thought that he would have seen me behind the fence. In the penitentiary, period. Vice versa. What's up, boy, man? What's going on? Now, I ain't seen him in some years. Remember I said we graduated high school in 94. I don't go to the joint until 2001, 2002. 7, 8 years later. What's up, man? The first couple times we seen each other, we just kind of looked at each other. But once we, got a little closer, then we realized, what was what. We're not 18-year-old kids no more. 25, 26. 24, 23, whatever age we were at the time. We talking, we chopping it up. But the thing about the penitentiary, you already with who you're with. I'm already with this group of people. He's already with this group of people. So it's not like we hanging every day, but we see each other. Hey, what's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Everything cool. You need anything? You straight? Well, he was always straight. I was straight at the time. So we see each other. Like I said, conversations will be at best minimal. And we go our separate ways. I knew Chris could hoop, but I never really seen him on the basketball court. I ain't say anything, but this dude was like a beast, man. I knew that he could hoop. One day I seen him, we playing ping pong or whatever, back and forth ping pong. We chop it up, we talk, man, bro, why you never get on the basketball court? Man, I be going out there, man, but, you know what I'm saying, they act like they don't ever really want to pick me up or whatever. And I can believe that, because in penitentiary, like, hooping is very, very serious. You would get your wig split on that basketball court, man. You got to really, really be able to ball, man. You can't just go on to the court and be like, hey, I can hoop, pick me up, pick me up. Intramurals was coming around. Intramural season came because, they got intramural. Okay, so you got regular recreation, right? When I say regular recreation, just going to the gym every day hooping. But you got to be the best of the best to get on the court. Hoopers is on the court. Back then, they didn't make you have no job or go to school. So you could hoop literally all day long in prison. He couldn't get on the court. Intramural season came around. Man, this dude was cracking him upside the head. I'm talking about 35 and 40 every game. White dude, 5'8", 5'9". No more than 170 pounds. Cracking him 35, 40 a game on intramurals. Now he's a commodity. Everybody seeking hoop. So now when he goes to the gym, when just regular hooping sessions or whatever, man, give me the white boy, man. Give me white man can't jump. They refer to him as that. Then they seen he could jump. He could go up and dunk. He was athletic. They start calling him Jason Williams. White chocolate. White chocolate. White chocolate was cold. He's going out there the same thing that I've always seen him do. Man, he's eating them boys up. Pause, double pause, triple pause, infinite pause. He's doing the most on the court, man. They cannot stop this dude. He can go left. He can go right. He's not necessarily quicker than everybody else. He's quick, but he just has a talent. He has a knack for scoring. This dude was amazing, man. Could not believe that he wasn't playing for anybody when he came to our high school. I don't understand why. This dude was amazing. You got to understand, in penitentiary, man, you got some of the best, the greatest athletes, man, that should be in the pros or had an opportunity to go to the pros. Dudes are 6'3", 6'4", 6'6". Can't stop this white dude that's 5'9", man. Killing them. I'm talking about killing them. Shout out to the truck drivers, man. Shout out to everybody, the Amazon workers. Shout out to the security guards that's working them 12, 15-hour shifts. DoorDash, Uber, Lyft, Instacart, man. Shout out to all the people working in healthcare, them hospitals, nursing homes. Everybody, man. Them truck drivers, man, they dropping them big-ass loads, man. They dropping them big-ass loads so you all can get your Amazon orders. You order online and you want it the next day, a couple days later, man. Truck drivers, man, they salaries need to be tripled if you ask me. Kids, stick to the motherfucking story. I am sticking to the story. It's my channel. You don't say nothing when you're watching a television show and it goes to commercials, right? So why do you have a problem when I veer a little bit, but I always come back? Chris is killing them, man. They playing one day. Got a black dude. Another gorilla. Another prison gorilla. Nobody fool with him, man. Nobody fool with Big Brass. BB. BB. B&B. We all we get. You didn't build this shit on your own. It's a scene from New Jack City for you all that are not familiar with, I will go into a movie scene from time to time. You didn't build this shit on your own, Nino. I helped you build this shit. Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? Big Brass, man, was a beast, man. Black dude. He was just starting his dreads, so he had like the little small dreads. Big Brass was he wasn't really that tall, but he wasn't short either. He was 5'11". I know he was 5'11". Throw the whole weight pile up, man. And he was just an athletic dude. Like, he was just gifted. He could jump out of the gym. Big old arms, big old traps. You could sit a cup on the top of his chest, man. He was just a big dude, man. Big legs, big, thighs and paws, double paws, calves. Like, he was just a physically gifted dude. He didn't really use his talents when he was on the streets. He did, but he used his talents to do dirt, robbing people and fighting and doing them things. And he carried that over to the penitentiary. He had his name for a reason, man. Big Brass, man. Brass knuckles. Meaning that anytime he hit you, you gonna go to sleep, man. As though someone hit you with some brass knuckles. You was going to sleep. He had a saying, man. I've heard a couple people say this. I've only heard 2 people in my life say this. Nigga, if I hit you, if me and you was getting in a fight, and I hit you with 2 of these, and you don't fall, I'm going to take off running. That was Big Brass's saying, man. Dude he fought, man, and nobody ran up on Big Brass. So you got to understand, I'm in a Kentucky prison. I'm not with the Serenos or the M13s. I'm not with, you know what I mean? So maybe he could get away with doing these things in other prisons that are gang related and or more gang related, because there are gangs here, but it's more structured. But here in Kentucky, he was able to, do his thing, get away with it. Anybody got anything to say or whatever, he knocking dudes out, man. Left hand, right hand dude was just a beast, man. Dude was an absolute beast, man. And nobody tried him, man. In a penitentiary, and nobody tried him. Not to say he couldn't have gotten his issue, because if he ran up on the wrong individual, I'm quite sure he would have gotten his wig split. They on the court. He gets mad. He's one of them type dudes, wants to bully the court. He takes the ball, kicks it in the bleachers. Boom! Kicks the ball. It goes way to the top of the bleachers. I dare a motherfucker to go get the ball. Bet not nobody go up there and get that ball. Everybody's sitting around in the penitentiary now. They're sitting around. Come on, Big Brass. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. He mad over a call or something crazy like that. Chris is like, man, come on, man. Out of all the people, there was nobody else white on the court. I don't even know if there's anybody else white in the gym. It was, but they was probably, on the stage playing pool or, you know what I'm saying? It was mainly black people in the gym. Little Chris, 5'9" Chris, 170 pound Chris, runs up and grabs the ball. After Big Brass Knuckles said, a motherfucker better not go get that ball. Y'all know who Ving Rhames? He sound like Ving Rhames. I'm going to tell you, you go get that basketball, it's going to be a problem. He goes and gets the ball. Come on, man, play ball, man. We trying to hoop, man. Come on, play ball. Big Brad, he wasn't feeling that whatsoever. He was not feeling that whatsoever. They have words or whatever. Chris ain't even saying nothing. He couldn't really do anything because the gym director was in there. I guess he could, but nobody wants to go to the hole in prison. People talk that stuff. I do the rest of mine in the hole. Send me to the hole. I do the rest of mine. Now you're not going to get no visits. Now you're not going to get no phone calls. You're going to lose your TV, your commissary. People will go to the hole, but if Big Brass had people that was looking out for him, so you don't want to lose all that. So you will take a risk, but you're not, you may act a certain type of way in front of the staff, but it's better to, catch that individual that you're trying to catch when the staff is not around. It was known Big Brass had a problem with Chris, man. Chris is not worried about it. Chris lays off the basketball court, though, just not out of fear, but just he trying to go home. You see, I failed to mention that Chris ended up in the penitentiary because he ended up getting into a fight. It's like you see on TV. Y'all seen that movie, Officer and a Gentleman, Richard Gere? It was the exact same scenario. He got into it with an individual. He was with his girl. They weren't bothering anybody. Chris, hit him, I don't know, 2-piece him, 3-piece him. Dude fell, hit his head. Ended up not making it. They ended up getting Chris with, not homicide, but manslaughter. Never had a record. But because he had been in the military, I thought the dudes were supposed to be protected more so. The prosecution used that as a weapon, if you will. Send him to penitentiary, man. 10-year sentence. Never had anything outside of a speeding ticket. This dude was a squeaky clean individual. That's how he ended up in the joint. Nobody knew that Chris had hands. Nobody knew. They just seen that he could hoop, which they initially didn't know. They didn't know that Chris had hands. He could already fight, which I didn't even know in high school because I never seen that side of him. Nobody ever tried him. Dude went to the Marines, man, and learned some shit. See, the reason the reason that I made this video today, that I brought you all these videos, because I was on YouTube and I was watching, actually it was Facebook. And I actually should have taken that video and shared it with you all so you could see it. It was a white dude. They were at a basketball game. Black dude, they get into it. I don't know exactly what happened. The black dude is talking crazy. I'm talking about, he's talking, bitch ass motherfucking white boy, I'll whoop your ass. This dude's probably 6'3". I say he's about 6'3", big dude. White dude ain't number probably 5'9", 5'10", about like Chris. He's laughing at the black dude, like, but he's not laughing. He's just kind of smiling, like, all right, man. He's being humble, like, all right, man, chill, man. The white dude had a couple people that was around him. They knew that this dude was dangerous. But the white dude was just so humble. But the black dude, you bitch ass motherfucker. They ended up separating the two. White dude goes on his way. The clip goes on to show that this white dude was a professional Golden Glove boxer. And nobody knew who he was at the time. So they showed like a few clips of him knocking dudes out. And it was like, man, this black dude just didn't even know that he got spared because he was going to go to sleep. This dude was a gorilla, man, in the ring. That's how Chris was. He wasn't a Golden Glove boxer, but he knew how to fight. But nobody knew that he knew how to fight, including myself. Chris is coming back from Commissary. He was very well taken care of between, the money that he got from the military or that he had saved up or his wife or his parents or whatever. He goes spend $100 a week at the store every week. And he was a cool dude, man. Man, you need anything, bro? You need, man, just make me a list. What you need? $20, $30, what? But I was already, I was good, but it was my partner, man. He coming back from the store. He goes into his cell. He got his bag. Big Brass, they already plotting on him. Big Brass and one of his flunkies, they run in the cell on him. Because the way the prison works is like once you go into the cell, your door doesn't necessarily, it's not like the bars, the jails here anyway, the prisons here. It's not like the bars that you see on TV. You got just like a regular door. So you take a key, unlock your door. He goes into his cell. As soon as he goes into the cell, Big Brass runs into the cell. This happens often in prison, man. Dudes run into your cell, man, trying to, run that. You know what it is. Get that out. Trying to rob you. We'll rob you. There's no trying to rob you. We'll rob you. He got his little flunky on the outside watching for the CO. They in the cell. Chris, man, I ain't giving you nothing, man. You gonna get it out. I ain't giving you nothing. Big Brass tries to take little Chris's, not little Chris, he tries to take Chris's commissary. Chris beat the brakes off of him. Now, I wasn't in the cell, but man, I seen his face. Bing, boom, 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 boom. Beat the living brakes off of Big Brass that was known for knocking dudes out because he got hands and they were strong like, brass knuckles, man. He gonna hit you and he's gonna feel like a brass knuckle hit you. He didn't know Chris, man, was military trained. Chris, white boy, 5'9", 175 pounds. Hitting these niggas on the court for 45 and 50, so they already didn't like him. And he whoops Big Brass. I'm talking about whoops him. When I say whoops him, I'm talking about lumped up. Willie look like Willie Lump Lump. Y'all know who Willie Lump Lump? Y'all jump in the comments and let me know if you ever heard of Willie Lump Lump. Beats the brakes off of him. It was so bad to where they say Big Brass ended up pressing charges or told the people that Chris had did this to him. They end up throwing Chris in the hole, pending investigation. Although I'm in my cell, man, in my business, you let this, this individual comes to my cell and y'all throw me in the hole. They throw him in the hole. Like I said, he did damage. I'm talking about he did major, major damage. He ends up coming out of the situation unscathed. He does a few months in the hole, but he comes out of the situation unscathed, meaning that he caught a write-up, but he didn't catch extra time. He caught a write-up because he beat him so bad and he just kept beating him. It's not like he just beat him and left him. Nah, he beat him, man. To me, he shouldn't have caught no write-up. You and my. It's like somebody coming into your house and you hitting them a couple times and now you're not supposed to hit them anymore. Somebody runs into your dwelling, your home, your space, your private, you beat you. You're damn right I wanted him dead. Yeah, I mean, because that's your space, man. You got your kids, though. You got your family. So why not? I'm not an advocate for violence, but it's just what it is. He ends up a couple years later, he works his custody level down. But he has a write-up. He's already in on a violent charge, although, once again, he was just defending himself. The parole board doesn't look at that too kindly. I run into him. I'm at Blackburn. I run into him again years later. He's still in the system. They won't give him parole. So he's trying to work his time off. He has to do like 6 years. And then he'll service 6 years, 6.5 years. He'll serve his whole 10-year sentence out. And he'll go home. No parole or anything. He's refereeing basketball games at this point. He's playing a little bit, but he's refereeing. People know about him a little bit, but everybody doesn't fully know about him. Dude's running it one night. You cheating ass white boy, hoogie white boy, I'll whoop you. Listen, man, I don't want no problems. I'm just sitting back. I'm already knowing what's going to potentially happen. I'll whoop you, a white boy, never whoop me, and I'm this and I'm that. We'll see you outside after the game. Just calm down, bro. This is a game, man. I'm not cheating. I don't have anything to do with anything, in regards to this game, man. I'm just refereeing. I'm not a pro at this. Very, very humble dude. They go outside after the game. See, in Intramurals in prison, the game's end at night. After count time clears, you got count time that clears at this particular prison I was at, which was Blackburn, which is a camp. Count time might clear at about 6:30. Game started about 7 to 8. Then you might have another game, 8 to 9. And then you got to go back to the dorm, but it's dark. So when you're walking back to the dorm, Chris is walking outside. Dudes is, gathered up or whatever. Yeah, I want you, white boy. I want you. Look, man, I ain't got no problem with you, man. It was a call. I missed a call or whatever. You thought I missed a call. I take the blame, the responsibility. I accepted whatever. I missed a call, man. Loud ass dude. Loud ass black dude. Just what it was. I'm not saying that all black dudes are this way. I'm not saying that all black dudes are loud. I'm definitely not saying that all black dudes can't fight or get whooped. I'm not saying that. But in these two instances, dude runs up on Chris. Once again, man, I don't want no problems, man. Dude runs up, boom, 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 boom. I'm talking about, man, he pieces him, 4-5 piece, puts him to sleep, man. Now, in prison, oftentimes, man, when you see an individual go to sleep or they hit the ground, dude's going to get on them and stomp them because you're trying to put on what's called a demonstration, a demo. For the next individual that thinks he's going to try me, this is what you got to look forward to. Chris didn't even stomp him all the way out. He could have, but he didn't. Luckily, it was dark. There was no cameras. Nobody said anything. Dude's lip, eye was messed around, but, you know, they never brought it back to Chris. Chris did the rest of his time, served his time out, and went home to his family where he should have been in the first place. Never should have even been in penitentiary. Somebody runs up on you trying to harm you and your family, and you fight them, and that person falls and hits their head or whatever. Now you're a murderer. So you got to have thousands and thousands of dollars to hire an attorney to get you 5 years, 10 years, when all you were doing in the first place was protecting yourself. Only thing that I can say that Chris did wrong, and at the time he didn't know, once he hit dude and dude hit his head on the car, like Chris kind of stomped him a little bit. He didn't have the understanding, the capacity of knowing that this dude was not going to make it. He's just, you know, you in a fight. You in the midst of you fighting. So sometimes you do things and then, hold on, let me let this dude go. But you're trying to make sure that you're out of clear, imminent danger. That's how Chris ended up getting the 10 years, man. Chris is my partner, man. Chris is my dog, and I hope he sees this video. I haven't seen him. I don't even remember his last name, but Chris is a beast, man. And you would look at this dude once again and never know. First of all, he'll drop 60 on you on the court. Dude just had a gift. He had a talent. White chocolate. But he had hands too, man. And this dude, you don't want to run up on Chris, man. I was telling the dude about Chris my last time down because I ended up going back like a fool. Stupid is as stupid does. And I was telling one of the, dudes I kicked it with about Chris, and he was like, yeah, it's because he ain't fought nobody, man. Ain't no way no 5'9" white dude's gonna do this to me. I'm like, all right. It got to the point to where him and I almost got into it because I'm just telling him about Chris. I'm not saying what Chris will do to you. I'm saying what I witnessed Chris do to two dudes, and they were, the one dude, Big Brass, is definitely a gorilla. But the other dude wasn't no slouch either, man. Yeah, he ain't fought nobody, man. Yeah, okay. Keep thinking that, man. Keep thinking that just because a dude is white dudes, man, they know that and this was back before MMA and all that shit. White dudes know that MMA, they be fighting and, motherfucker! Chris wasn't that type of dude. He was calm. Keep thinking that you can whoop somebody just because they white, man. You're going to find yourself in the hucklebuck. You're going to find yourself really, really in a bad situation, man. Judging a book by its cover, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. Anytime I bring you this action and this and white boy Chris Heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. If you're not receiving the notifications, which I'm hearing that people are not receiving the notifications, fret not. Let's check the channel every day, man. We dropping. We about to start 2 videos a day, maybe 3, maybe 4. I'm about to start dropping clips. Not necessarily clips from the videos that I'm doing, but I don't know, 10, 12-minute videos. But I'm going to still do my longer version, my story time, man. Y'all stay tuned for this channel is about to evolve, and we're going to take this thing to new heights one way or another. Real Kens TV.